the writer's room, and today Brian is showrunner, so take the wheel.
All right, so for the writer's room, basically the way this is going to work is that Yusuf, Phil, and I both have 2 pitches, and we're going to run through them all. We're going to riff to figure out which ones we like the most, and then when we go into the outlining, I'll pick one, and then we will write an outline together.
I already feel like me and Phil might have one of our pitches. Me and Phil has is gonna be the same, so that's what I feel like.
Oh my gosh, we all went with a nihilist, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yes, we all want a nihilist.
Well, let's start with our non-annihilist pitches, and then we will see how cohesive the annihilist pitches are, because maybe we'll be able to merge them all. Phil, Yusuf, would either of you like to go first?
Your go. Oh, you know what? I never get to do this. I never get to go first. So I wanted to do an adaptation of the story Fix Everything. And so Fix Everything is a Reed Richards story. And the basic premise is that Reed wants to fix everything. That's his whole thing, is he just wants to make the universe a better place. So he goes into the multiverse and he finds all of these Reed Richards from all the different universes. It's basically like the Citadel of the Ricks, or rather the Citadel of the Ricks is Fix Everything. And they all work together, and their whole goal is to fix all of the universes. And so he feels like he finally found his group, his crew. But he discovers that in order to do that, he has to leave his family. He won't be able to be with his family as much anymore. And he chooses to be with the Fantastic Four, and he leaves the
Castle of Reeds.
The Castle of Reeds, yes.
Yeah, the council.
So the story is called Fix Everything.
So for this pitch, I don't know who the villain is, but is it open to pitch a villain?
Yeah.
Then I'd say the Maker.
Oh, that's interesting.
Who I forgot to incorporate in a pitch. The story's Reed tackling himself, and also if you do the Maker, I think you can do like a horror movie style vignette, or at least horror sequences.
We're talking about the Ultimates Maker, right?
I assume so. All I know is that Reed Richards has a darkest timeline where he becomes the Maker, and he's like a very successful villain, and so you could have him taking out the other Reeds, you can have him taking out Fantastic Four families, messing with timelines, because that's the whole thing of he stops superheroes from having their origin stories, and then because really what you would be doing with the storyline is Reed is learning what he should have known is he can't fix everything, and when he tries, he'll become the Maker.
Yeah, I mean the thing about the Maker, how, Reed basically became the villain to save the Ultimate Universe. That's the gist of it. Oh gosh! So when the second Secret Wars happened,
that fits into what we're doing, because he can be disgusted by the Maker. And it's I'm you.
I could easily see the Maker's just kind of just hanging out around with the council, but he much to your point, at one point he has to tell everyone my method is the best method because it works, and this is what I have to become, and you all are dumb because you don't want to be me.
Well, he has a superiority complex sort of thing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say too, I apologize. The mole man type villain I was pitching for this is the wingless wizard, because he's just I just love the wingless wizard. The wingless wizard, for those who are not in the know, is an inventor who has all these high-tech gadgets and is a villain of the Fantastic Four. So.
Reed could disrespect him, and then the wingless wizard could have an item that actually turns out to save the day.
And also the wingless wizard also founded the Frightful Four.
Yes, he did.
The what Four?
The Frightful Four.
Frightful Four.
Yeah, so it was him, Sandman, the Trapper, and Medusa. And Medusa
his name is Paste Pot Pete, not the Trapper. The Trapper.
Where do the rest of the Fantastic Four come into play on this? Because I don't think we'd want to not have our other 4 in that: Sue, Ben, Human Torch, and Franklin. So I think we're going to need them all, right?
I agree with that.
In addition to,
they could be with Dr. Doom.
Another angle on it. Could the Maker, since he screwed up his universe, could he maybe be trying to take Reed's Sue, Ben, and family?
I see that's a possibility. Okay, so question: This is gonna be our sequel, right? Our Fantastic Four 2.
Yeah, I think we have to keep it in the universe that it exists in. That the second steps. Yes.
Let's just assume Doomsday is never going to happen, or it's not going to happen, or whatever is not a thing. One thing I would love to see is Valeria Richards, which is their daughter, the second child. And the main reason why she was named that was because in the comics, they like so Sue already had a miscarriage in
Doom
the
delivered
past.
her and then got naming rights, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So
Yeah.
he named her after his mother, Valeria.
I do love that. And here's my fix for that. For the sake of this exercise, let's assume that Downey is not Victor Von Doom and he is going to be an alternate timeline Tony Stark. And so this world that First Steps exists in, they still have their own Victor Von Doom. So I think that'll be our workaround for that. If we decide to
Yeah, no,
that
invoke
makes
Dr.
sense to
I
me.
mean, yeah, I mean, I always felt like Doom already existed in this world because there was that scene where they
Yes.
showed up.
You see Latveria. You see Latveria. Well, and he's in
Latveria
the,
refuses to show up to the UN.
yeah, and he's in the post credits too. Or he's the mid credits.
Spoilers.
So for a movie.
Well, we don't know which Doom that is yet,
It's Doom, but we could assume it's that world's
but it
Doom,
is
you
Doom.
know? So
Yes. We'll assume it's that world's Doom.
my one pitch is like perhaps the maker wants. I mean, I know we're probably repeating the same beats as the first one, but it's like what if the maker wants Val for reasons?
Does
He's
Val
like the
have
one step,
powers?
or he sees Val as a threat to him. Like he sees Valeria Richards as a threat to his like grand design, collapsing the entire multiverse into his vision.
That
But
makes sense to me.
what about Val? I don't know Val. What about her makes her a threat?
She is really, really smart. In the comics, like Valeria has super intelligence. She's able to create like she basically like created a bell that mimics Sue's powers instantly. She also like used her bell to control Franklin Richards' powers because Franklin Richards, he's basically like anything you could imagine happens. You know, he's like
Yes.
a reality bender. Gosh, now I want this to be like a brother-sister story about like these two young kids, you know, going up against, you know, something.
That'll be the series. It'll be Power Pack when they do a Power Pack series.
I know, yeah. Man, I think I'm making this movie too complicated now.
No, it's okay. It's not that it's too complicated. It's just it's two different stories.
So maybe we've done enough on my pitch. We want to move on to another person's pitch.
Yes, Yusuf, you're up.
So Psycho Man. Originally, Psycho Man is like kind of like the ruler of this microverse. So he's a bunch of tiny people, and he created this like giant version of
Ant-Man's
himself.
got nothing on me.
Yeah, right.
The quantum realm is the microverse. Like they just renamed it.
Yeah. So and he created this like giant machine version of himself, so he could like walk amongst the people of the macroverse, which is us. But the thing about Psycho Man is how he can control like everyone's emotions. You know, that's why he's called that. He basically like controlled Sue's minds, and she became Malice. You know, which is like this very evil version of herself. So First Steps is a lot about family, and I'm thinking about what can break the family apart as if one of them turns evil, and what they have to do with that consequence. Especially where Psycho Man kind of delved deep into Sue's miscarriage. You know, which is like a very hurtful thing for her.
Well, the thing that I like about that too, I just to yes and see what the showrunner thinks. Also, in the first movie, Sue is a lot. I think there are times when I'm like, I don't agree with what Sue is doing, like legitimately, and like that is kind of cool to like do that and have her become Malice. I just like that's an interesting thing for her character arc.
This sets up the potential for Reed's going to have to make a tough choice, and Ben is probably going to have a talk with him of like, do you fully understand what us fighting her means?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Totally, that's
I
really
think
interesting.
you could have a really, really cool scene about that. Even like if you're having that scene and then like Johnny could overhear and be like, he could flip out. Like, what do you mean? We're going to save her.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could have a very visceral reaction to hearing what Ben's implying.
Yeah.
Of like, you know how strong she is.
Yeah.
Look at what she's done. There's a lot of really strong pathos that can be pushed into this.
And we could like just, you know, lash back, be like, yeah, I understand what's going on. Like, this is the love of my life. And I have to like, we have to stop her. How do you think I feel? You know, like
Honestly?
she's the only person, Sue's the only person in the world that understands me.
Well, and that's cool. Well, and it's cool too because for Johnny, it then comes down to, well, she's the only family I have left. So you know, I say you married in, but she's my family. She is my nuclear family.
Oh, the response that I'd say to Johnny, or more accurately, have one of the other characters say to Johnny, is, we're your family. Maybe another angle on it is, Ben knows neither of these two can do this, so he decides to go deal with it himself. He takes on the burden of what this means. Because this is a burden. Whoever does this, they have to live with that. He can't ask Reed to do it. He can't ask Johnny to do it. It's on Ben. And Ben can get his butt whooped.
God, what just like seeing they're fighting and like Sue just like lifts him up and like has him like his arms and legs. He's like, I've always wondered how soft you are on the inside, and she does like the whole force field around his heart and like starts like squeezing it. You see how soft you really are.
That's cool.
And then that could bring Johnny and Reed into it at that point. Or we have him lose bad and they just recover the injured body.
Yeah. Without the rock that lifts him up, who are they?
He is the rock. He's foundation stone. What's really cool too, to your point, Joe Runner Brian, the first movie has tough choices, and this is another one of those. It's really cool.
That's what I really think we got to focus on in this is like, it's really about Reed getting a very impossible decision. And I think it's really like challenging that whole, he can figure out any problem. He can solve any problem. And then you give him an unsolvable problem. And so it's very cool in that regard. So let's, great job, Yusuf. I'm going to move into my one non-annihilus pitch. My give Reed a very difficult problem to solve is I was looking at all the villains and the one that spoke to me was Molecule Man.
Yeah. I love the Molecule Man, by the way.
Yes.
I could so easily see how someone with that power set could lose control. It reminded me a lot of the Spot from Beyond the Spider-Verse and how his powers can lose control. And like, maybe he's like somewhat sympathetic, but how do you save someone from themselves, especially if he doesn't want to be saved? And so that is what was interesting to me about Molecule Man.
Yes, and that too. Maybe it's something too where we can have Reed have some responsibility in it. And so like it is a thing is like not only is he has to save a guy who doesn't want to be saved, he also has to reckon with his part in it.
Molecule Man did make an appearance in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It was interesting. He was actually an alien in like another planet. Then he showed up trying to like kill Lunella. Well, he was trying to look for the Beyonder because the Beyonder like pretty much like ruined his whole life, almost destroyed his whole planet. So his powers did go out of control.
The Beyonder in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Talk about outmatched.
What if, and this will be changing the context of it, what if baby Franklin, just not understanding his powers, is the one that gave Molecule Man his powers? And so now there's a responsibility on Reed and even Sue's part to fix him.
In this scenario, do we want Franklin to still be like a year old, or should we make him like toddler age?
He was around 4 at the end credit scene. I think younger's better for the sake of this exercise, but if we want to stay closer to where the movie left off, then he'd probably have to be around 5. So what do we think? What are our votes on that? Do we want to do a more toddler age, or do we like a 2 or 3, or do we want to
my vote is toddler age, since that's where the movie lays off.
I want to do the same because, you know, we're talking about responsibility stuff. Like, this is a kid with like unfathomable power, and he has to learn like pretty much right away you can't use your powers for like a lot of things. So him doing something like this, it'd be like, it's like, whoa, kid, like you can't do that. It'd be like, why? It's fun.
That'd be Reed parenting.
Yeah.
We'd actually see them parenting.
It'd be funny if like Reed would just be like, whoa, he could do this? Fascinating. What else can you do? It's like,
that's funny.
Yeah, maybe
that's
he
a very
encourages
Reed
the power.
response.
Oh, I feel like that'd be. But this Reed in the story is very fearful. Would Johnny be a better candidate to egg on the powers?
I guess I vote
because
against
Johnny's
that.
a little more irresponsible.
I vote against that in that, like, we want Reed to learn the lesson, right? And that is, like, I do see a way where you can have it be part of his curiosity. Like, his curiosity gets the better of him, and he encourages him to do it.
Maybe it's like he teaches him it's okay to use the powers in certain contexts, but he didn't, like, specify, like, no, in the lab with me. And then he goes outside the lab, does something, creates Molecule Man, ruins this guy's life. And then what do you do at that point? How do you fix him?
How about this? Since like Reed doesn't know like the full fathom of his powers, he'll like test him in the negative zone. It's like, oh, this is a safe space. We could test things there, and accidentally creates Molecule Man, who accidentally brings Annihilus. The world ends.
Well, I mean,
hold on now. I like the negative zone.
Well, I was going to say, so if we're at the negative zone, since I think it's my turn for a pitch, that kind of works with what my pitch was. Reed Richards was trying to get to the multiverse, and he ends up opening up the negative zone, and Annihilus and Blastar come out. I didn't want to do it from, like, they go to the negative zone because we already had Quantumania, so we've done the going into a world, but I just thought having the negative zone spill out into our Earth, whichever number this one is.
Question, just for a point of clarity, since Annihilus is a little more obscure, and I actually might be off on my basis, and my pitch might not work for Annihilus. I think he's like in charge of a jail. Is he in like a warden of a negative zone
No.
space jail?
Yeah, I could see how you would perceive that, but no. So Annihilus is like the lord of the negative zone, and basically the negative zone was this universe, and then they had a society, a civilization that came up that were like all lions and shit, and then they like died out because they went too far, and then it was just like primordial, and then this like bug creature who had gained the ability to think ostensibly, this bug monster, which is Annihilus, he comes up and he's separate from the other bug monsters and the other monsters in the negative zone, and little by little he becomes kind of sentient, and he gets this thing called is it the command rod, the control rod, Yusuf? What is it called?
Cosmo Rod or something like that.
Something
Cosmo
like
Rod.
that. And so he conquers the entire negative zone. So he's like king of the negative zone, ostensibly. I also mentioned Blastar, who you may not be familiar with. He is like a lord in the negative zone, and his big thing is he shoots concussion blasts out of his fingers, but he's like this tough, hulking character.
But much to your point, during the Civil War comics, when that was going on, like Tony Stark did create a whole prison in the negative zone.
Then that's probably where I'm getting confused. Okay, so then let's go into Annihilus now. And one of my pitches might actually help out what Phil just pitched. Reed opens up the multiverse. Why would he do that? I think I actually have the solution for that. So I was thinking we're going to separate ourselves from the MCU right now because I might not be able to coincide it with specifically the MCU. But I want it like during a fight, and I don't know against two, and I don't know exactly which villain might have been the correct person. So for my pitch, I'm going to use Mephisto. And if there's someone better, someone's better. And for people listening, Mephisto's basically Marvel Satan. And so during a fight, portal opens up, young boy comes out, young boy turns out to be Peter Parker. Spider-Man. They don't know who he is, where he came from. He's the 5th honorary member of the Fantastic Four, and I just wanted him on the team. Reed trying to open up the multiverse could be them trying to get Peter home. And then Annihilus comes out and causes a few things. And then my reasoning of like why he was sent there in the first place, Spider-Man was messing with something that Mephisto didn't want to messing with, so he sent him back, and then it can be a whole, they have to let Peter go at the end of the story and return home because that's where he needs to be.
I will say, and you're the showrunner, and I think that Yusuf's going to say probably a similar thing.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want Spider-Man.
No, the only reason I'm bumping against that because it does feel like that third Spider-Man movie, Far From Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah, that to me it feels too much like that. It's like we're just repeating the same plot again.
I'm fine with it not being Tom Holland. No,
I have a different angle, and like you're the showrunner, so at the end it's going to be your call, but I will bring it up too. You're going to piss off the fanboys with this one because like it's kind of a running gag that Spider-Man never joins the Fantastic Four. Amazing Spider-Man. This is me being a nerd. Amazing Spider-Man #1 is him trying to join the Fantastic Four, and it doesn't happen. Like that is like kind of a thing, is he does it. The first issue of What If was what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four, and it turned out to like ruin his life. So that doesn't mean we can't do it. I'm just saying the fanboys will not be happy.
But there's also the Future Foundation. You know, when Johnny died, Peter took his place in his all white Spidey suit.
It's your call, though. We're just throwing it in there.
I brought the Spider-Man pitch expecting it to be shot down. I liked it. And so, okay, so then we have this problem. Why did Reed open up the multiverse? Why would he invite
the Council of Reeds, the Maker?
So then Annihilus and the Maker is going to be the villain in this. I'm fine with that. That's cool.
What if Annihilus had the Maker imprisoned? You know, what if like the Council of Reeds put the Maker in the negative zone? They accidentally set him free, or Reed set him free. Like, well, one of me is in here. I think
that powers down the Maker too much. I like the Maker because the Maker is like, I feel like I want the Maker to be in absolute control until Reed wins. So that would be my only pushback on that. But I do like that we are tying I think that makes it a little messy by the time we get to the final fight scene, but I do really, because like you have two big villains here. We want to make sure both fights between Annihilus and the Maker are worth the payoff, and we don't want to like half either of them. You know what I mean?
Well, is it a thing where that's kind of the Maker's redemption arc? Because I don't think that the Annihilus needs a redemption arc. Is it a thing where like that's how Reed turns the Maker's like almost confronting his dark side, and that's when they like team up to stop Annihilus?
I'm good with that. Is that something that would be against the Maker's character though? Like I like that, but I just don't know enough about the Maker. Is that against him?
Yeah, but we also like adapting something, you know. And plus, like, there's like Ultimate Endgame happening later this year, and the only thing they teased was like a cover of the Maker smiling, you know. So that's all we got to see. So who knows what that's going to be about?
Say
Yeah, the Maker's
it's not
the Maker's not a
Reed.
super defined character, so there's not a lot
Yeah.
of lore you have to navigate, I guess.
We could give him a redemption. We could like give him other stuff. In fact, like all the Marvel movies like changed so many characters. Like Rocket Raccoon wasn't like that in the comics at all in the first place, but because of the movie, he's like that now. So
Neither is Tony Stark.
yeah,
My only tweak on that pitch would be I don't think it's Reed that pushes the Maker to make a good decision. I think it's the
makes
kids,
sense.
Franklin and Val.
yeah,
I think
okay.
are the reason
That
why
makes
he
sense.
sacrifices himself.
Yeah,
Or maybe the
And then
family,
they
maybe the
come
family
together.
in general. It's Sue and the
Yeah.
kids and all of that. That makes sense.
Because I think it's just that's what he wants back. That's the Maker that we're presenting. Is he something happened, he lost all of them, and he wants them back, which is why he's screwing with Reed Richards' life. I like that. Yusuf, we had one more Annihilus pitch for you. Do you think you can shoehorn it into our Annihilus storyline, or what's your angle on Annihilus?
yeah, it was something like that.
Fair enough.
You want to pitch your angle?
That was my angle. That's literally was
Okay.
what I thought.
Hilarious.
Fair enough.
Yusuf,
Okay, so then I
love it.
guess we're doing
Well, did
through
you have
unanimous consent.
did you have a
What?
pitch though? An Annihilus pitch?
My angle on Annihilus was going to be when I didn't understand Annihilus and I thought he was a warden, my pitch was that with Peter coming to that world, Annihilus senses an anomaly and goes, Peter's not supposed to be here, I'll take him. And then it'd be like a rescue mission to get him back into space.
I see.
And that was going to be my pitch on it. But I learned about Annihilus during this. Y'all hate Spider-Man, so we're moving on.
It's the worst. Yeah, you just,
No, it's not that I don't hate Spider-Man. It's just
he's
I don't want to.
a menace.
Have you read the newspaper?
John Jonah Jameson was correct. All right, so then we're doing Annihilus. Could you guys walk me through his powers so I can have a better understanding?
He can do anything we want.
Basically.
What does that
I mean,
mean?
yeah, I mean, like his basic powers are like his cosmic control rod keeps him from aging. He's wearing like a power suit. He can fly. He can do concussive blasts. He's He's like super sturdy. And aside from that, it's kind of like the way the Tesseract is like a more powered down Tesseract ostensibly. So he can a little bit do anything.
This has always been the biggest problem with Marvel when it comes to like the cosmic entities. What can't they do? I don't know. It seems they could do anything. They could shoot laser blasts. They could make you levitate. They could breathe in space. You know, so
Yeah, but if you want a limiter, which I think is, if I'm hearing you correctly, that's what you're asking for. Like, so we have some parameters. In my experience with doing characters who are like OP like that, you have to limit it with the character. And so it's kind of like, what is he not thinking? What is he not doing? His whole goal is he wants to survive. He is Annihilus, the living death, but like his goal is to survive. So that's like kind of baseline Annihilus. So that he any abilities he has
Interesting.
are limited by that. I mean, in the comics, again, if you want to change it and make it something
This
different,
is really like man versus nature.
a little bit.
Okay. All right, so we are in our Act 1. How are we opening this, fellas? Like, what do we think is... So the lesson is going to be that Reed can't control everything. So something bad, I think, needs to happen to his family. That makes him feel this lack of control, that he then wants to go control everything. The funny angle would be Doom delivering his kid, but I don't know if that's necessarily traumatic enough to send him on this arc. Although it would be very funny opening.
I think the first beat would be, okay, so Franklin's a toddler and he's like just teleporting everywhere. And he tries to make like some anti-teleportation baby-proof thing in the floor of the Baxter building. He's trying to control his kid whose powers are going out of control. You know, just like, oh shit, like this is not working. I'm gonna make this is gonna work for now. Then that's when he has to figure out, oh, maybe if I understood his powers, I could like baby-proof this building better. So negative zone.
My only thing on that is, well, he has to learn about the negative zone, but
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a near-death experience for someone in his family.
Well,
Like, whether it's Franklin or Val or Sue, like someone needs to like just have barely survived, and like maybe he failed to save them, but Ben didn't.
Well,
Like Ben got there in time.
Well, I would, my pitch against, just to put this out here, the tension in the first one is nuclear family versus the greater good, and like that you can have both. My pitch would be like maybe they're doing something like they're fighting the Molecule Man or the Wingless Wizard, and like Franklin's powers get out of control, and they're able to get it like under control in that instance, but then Reed's like, we have to like curtail his powers, and like he doesn't know how to do that, so he finds the negative zone, which is just this like, well, there's nothing here. Like we can like he can learn his. Go ahead.
No, I like your pitch. My yes and on it is like Franklin does something equivalent to like creating a miniature black hole. Everything could have been destroyed in that instant. And then my solution to how he figures out about the negative zone. What about this pitch? He searches and searches and searches for an answer, and then he has to go ask a guy that he does not want to ask. And that gets us Victor Von Doom. And Doom does have a solution for him. He tells him it's dangerous, though. I also think Reed's probably going to have to do something to get that information from Doom. I know he's going to have to do something. I don't know what it is yet. But I just want him to go somewhere, because I don't think Reed... Like, because Reed wasn't able to find the power cosmic until Galactus showed up. I don't think... Unless Reed knows what he's looking for, I think he's going to struggle to find it. Doom has access to cosmic and mystical knowledge that Reed does not, and that's why I'm sending him to Doom.
It'd be funny if like Doom knows about the negative zone, because that's where he sends all his political prisoners to.
That would be funny. How's my goddaughter doing when he shows up? You could have the whole conversation about how Doom delivered the baby.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we think?
You're late for your monthly visit. They have like a monthly visit.
Maybe that's what he... Oh, it makes Doom a little silly, though. Maybe that's what he wants. He wants to...
That's Alligator.
He wants to babysit. Huh?
Alligator Alcatraz.
Oh, very nice. Is that too silly that Doom wants to see Val? And that's what
I think it's a little silly.
You really?
Okay.
I do think it's a little silly. Like I get that I get that they do that it's the family thing, but like I don't know, and we don't know what this version of Doom is.
It is a little cartoony.
It's a little cartoony for Dr. Doom, I just feel. Like Dr. Doom
I think he wants something. Maybe he asks do we do something as simple as just to get over this and see if we can find an answer later? A favor? Like you have to follow through. I'm going to come to you with a request, and you're going to have to follow through with it. And like maybe they can be like magically bonded, some Harry Potter stuff of like he has to do a magical handshake.
Doom does do magic, and I love that about him.
Reed has to fulfill one request of Doom's in the future.
Oh my god. Okay, this is gonna be so dumb. This is gonna be a dumb pitch. I got a very dumb pitch. So like he pulls out a magical contract, and Reed was just like, wait, what is this? Something I stole from Mephisto, you just sign it. He literally learned from Mephisto how to do like a devil contract, so he could steal people's souls forever.
That could work. Either one of those. The only thing is, and I think what we're bumping into a little bit is there are cartoony versions of the Fantastic Four, but I think the closer one to the tone of the film that we're basing it off of might be the handshake over the contract, because there's a bit of a Disney element of just sign this.
Or
even MCU comedy. There's an MCU humor to it. You know what I mean? And this movie, the Fantastic Four First Steps didn't really have the Marvel signature humor. You know what I mean? So I think that's what you and I keep falling into, Yusuf, that Phil is warning us about, is that we're leaning a little too into comedy at the moment, and we might need to take our feet off the gas of that and lean more into the drama.
To your point, and you bring up an interesting point, Brian. Do we want a scene where they are going to Latveria, so we show, what I'm saying, how they in the first movie they do scenes and they build, so you're actually seeing Latveria. So do we want to do that as we get to Doom, and then Doom? This is not something we have to put in the outline, but I'm just
what would be great about that? What I love about that, to yes and you. So we're flying over Latveria, or as we're about to get there, Reed can be listing all his grievances, how awful Doom is, how terrible he treats his people. We then enter the city, It's a paradise.
That's hilarious. He's just doom has solved everything. That's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah. See what happens when you have a dictator in control?
That works perfectly. Okay, so then that gets us to the negative zone. Do we think there's a scene where Sue is not comfortable with this negative zone option? So he has to argue with Sue about we need him to learn how to use his powers in a safe area.
I agree with that. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
like that too because that makes him more of the antagonist from the family point of view in this movie, as opposed to Sue, who I would argue is more the antagonist in the first one. So it kind of flips it. I like that.
So now they're the negative zone.
Yes. Now we're in the negative zone. He's practicing his powers. And
Nihilus shows up. Oh, or they discover the Maker.
I actually think like you could do something really, really neat if it's like the Maker. And this is just a pitch. Hear me out. You guys know Kingdom Hearts when Ansem first showed up and he's like wearing like a cloak and you don't know who he is. And he's just dropping mysterious hints. Okay, so just imagine a dude in the negative zone. He just has a hood and whatever, and we don't know who he is. And he's just saying things like, man, you really are as dumb as I was. And
Cryptic metaphor.
Like the whole thing, the whole rigmarole, and then something bad happens. Maybe a nihilist gets out. I think that's what we're getting at right now is like, who starts causing havoc first, a nihilist or the Maker? Because we could, and we're also,
Well, I guess
are
then
we
it
still doing
becomes
the Council of Reeds?
It feels like
that
we're getting.
might be.
It feels like we're getting away from it. And that doesn't mean that doesn't mean we can't have the Maker. And the Council of Reeds is a little silly anyway. What is and my question then for all of us, a clarifying question is like, what is it we want? What is the lesson that we want Reed to learn? Is it like not to be like this, his worst self? Or is it like, I screwed up and I brought all of this horrible stuff out?
I like if the Maker's involved, it's that he can't control everything.
Okay.
Like him pushing Franklin as hard. Maybe he starts pushing Franklin to use his powers, and this is what caused whatever damage the Maker is coming from that he's trying to undo.
So then it's like maybe Franklin's scared because they're in the negative zone, which is a
Yes.
horrific place. And he's like, no, like, this is what we're doing here. I need you to like work on your powers sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah. And all Franklin wants to do is read more about Charles Darwin.
Yeah, that was great.
And I mean, Reed like has a good point. Like, my son, like that black hole thing you did, it was really dangerous. We can't leave something like that up to chance. Yeah, I like that. And
See,
so, like,
the thing that I feel like
Mhm.
he's getting at, because I think maybe what we're kind of like landing on, it appears to me, is that Reed is like, he wants it to be done his way, ostensibly. And so he's saying, okay, I'm going to put you in the negative zone, do your thing. And like, he's not even thinking about like, so he is right that Franklin needs to like figure his like powers out so he doesn't make a black hole. But he's wrong in that he brought like his child to a hell zone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, guys, it's like a dimension, like a dark force dimension, correct? Am I imagining the correct thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like Sauron, I guess, right? And so
Yeah, not a nice place.
Franklin's about to be in danger. Something bad's about to happen to him. Maker saves him.
that makes sense. That's interesting.
Oh, we're talking about an nihilist being the ruler of this world. I mean, Ballastar, like, they could show up. So it's like, nihilist could show up, holy moly, it's just me and the kid. Can't reach out to the other three. Then the Maker saves him. Like, he could still be wearing his cloak. He'll be like, over here, you fools. He'll say something like that.
Yes.
And he'll put him into like this little safe zone he created. And then they're like, who are you? Takes out the cloak. I'm you.
Yeah,
What
I
are your
just don't know
thoughts
if
on
we want this that soon. I just don't know if we want the reveal that soon. And I want to allow.
Well, there are monsters in the negative zone. So like if you if your issue is you want
I want both
peril,
Maker.
what I'm saying is if you want peril, but you don't want to do the big reveal yet, you can have like them dealing with some monster and he gets saved by the Maker. That's my point.
Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to get both the Maker and a nihilist to cause problems in the real world. That's where I'm trying to get us to. So I think after this, Reed gets Franklin out of there.
Well, I guess we're saying that the Maker wants his family. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I think we're trying to square right now, is what he's going to do.
So then my So right. So then my question then becomes, what do we think Maker's plan is? Right? He's bringing the negative zone into this world, and he's gonna like abscond with Sue and Valeria and Franklin. What's your preference on like what his ultimate how he gets them by doing this?
My pitch would be he has an elaborate plan that he is going to set up these choices for Reed and lead him down his worst path of choices. And knowing that to prove
that's
he is just
interesting.
as twisted as he is, and then make a plea to like get him out of the way and then take Reed's
what's cool with
family.
that is like if he's doing some elaborate plan that makes him be his worst self, is he doing that while making himself look better to the family so that he can like get them?
Yes.
And so they're like they'll want to come with me to the ultimate universe wherever the hell he goes. Like that. That's my pitch, I suppose.
I also wonder was the Maker behind the black hole to set all this in motion? No?
I think it's more
I think that
interesting
takes
if it would. Yeah, I think it would be
It
more
takes away
interesting.
from Franklin.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think.
and I think it takes away some of Reed's agency too.
Yeah.
Our Maker is going to be less manipulating the multiverse and doing what he wants to do. Ours is going to more so just be teaming up with the Fantastic Four and trying to get the other Reed out of the way.
Well, if you want to do to kind of maybe this will help marry the two is like if he's super duper smart, and I like your concept that he has this huge elaborate plan. I mean, he may have just done the calculations. Like eventually some Reed was going to come, which he's like, I'll take any Fantastic Family. Like I don't care. Which like so he doesn't care about like on some level he cares about the concept of having a family and not about like which family it is. So he was like, I knew some Reed was going to get
his
here.
family back.
Right. He's like, right. He's like, I knew some Reed was going to come here.
I mean, we could try to make it worse, where he like had trials with other different Reeds.
Hilarious.
Like, this isn't the first Reed he tried this with, but he already tried like 10 different universes.
I really like
work.
that because I do want to see some of him screwing with other universes and like destroying entire universes.
Yeah.
Like, I do want to see that.
Because I'm just thinking like from a scientific mind of like trials and errors. So he's like, I've gone through all these trials, and you're the final. You're the one who's going to
complete perfect one because you're just like me.
Yeah. This is what we do, Reed. We think of the worst possible scenarios. We're a scientist. We got to keep on trying. And we keep failing and failing and failing until we get it right.
Those other Reeds were elastic and stretchy. We're hard. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Brian.
So hard.
What about in Act 3? Let's say we have it whereas they beat Annihilus. And the way the plan's supposed to go is that maybe the Maker is the one that does it, and they're supposed to love him now. And it doesn't work. They choose the old Reed. Now they have to fight the Maker. Because the Maker feels betrayed.
My argument would be, my yes and or pitch or whatever on that would be, why not have them fight it in Act 2? Like, and it's part of the Maker's plan, and he beats it, and then like then when we get into Act 3, like that's when they fight the Maker and maybe Annihilus and again. That would just I would just say maybe move it to
I like
here.
that because that gets us back to him being a villain. We can even like have him. Maybe he like faked the whole putting himself in danger thing.
Well,
that was supposed to work. You all failed just like the other families did, and you're not choosing me.
I love that. I think that's really cool. I don't know. And that feels exciting
So
to me.
now I had to destroy your universe and try again. I had to destroy it. I had to build it to how it's supposed to be.
I have to unmake it and remake it. Like this is all.
They don't call him the Maker for nothing.
Right. And I mean that
This
feels
is why
cool to me.
I am the Maker.
So yeah.
And you are just a measly wet noodle.
Right. All you do is turn invisible. And she's like, excuse me? Squeeze me? Or maybe it squeeze you. No, I'm just kidding.
So Act 2 is them going through the negative zone. So we'll have all that excitement and thrills of them navigating the negative zone. They get out, and then we get into the Maker in Act 3. I like that.
If we're doing it that way, should we just have the whole Fantastic Four in the negative zone then?
I think we need to. Yeah. Well, I think he has to eventually do an SOS, and they're all super mad at him because this is exactly what they were worried about.
You know.
Well, do you know what would be the worst convo for him to have with Sue? I don't know where Franklin went.
Yeah, that is pretty horrible.
That would be a terrible conversation to have.
And
So
they
that'd be
have to
like
go
here.
I lost
in
the
and
boy.
get him.
You did
And,
what? I lost the boy.
Then we can have like the B story be Franklin with the Maker, even though we won't know who he has befriended in this. My dad has stretchy powers too. Wow, what a coincidence.
You kind of sound
Small
like my
world.
dad, just more angry.
He goes back and tells Sue, "I lost the boy." Where would you like to move from there, sir?
Well, I mean, they suit up and go for another exploration, right? They're going to go in and they're going to hit things until... Actually, that could be the whole thing of like... Reed could be like, I need to analyze and find him and like track him. They all just walk in the portal and just start hitting things until they find...
I mean, that would be fun too, because like there is a fun thing they did in the cartoon where they're like, they will go back in time and they see like the Greeks are fighting somebody, I can't remember who it is, and they're like, is it okay if we... This is a little gross, but now that I think back on it, but they're like, is it okay if we like interfere with time? It's like, well, the Greeks were the foundation of Western philosophy, so yeah, we can beat up the people that they were fighting. And so like I do... That's literally in the 90s cartoon.
Oh my gosh.
And so like I love that too, because that's like, yeah, they're just monsters. Like, so we can just go hit them.
Okay, so they
such a
start
different time.
searching for them. I'm thinking a nihilist finds them, and this is going to be the first encounter. Like the thing's going to hit a couple minions. It's going to be all small fries, and then a nihilist is like, now you're interesting. Where did you all come from? Is there another place out there?
That's cool. That's interesting.
Do they have to do a divide and conquer because they see a nihilist escape the portal? Or maybe just Johnny goes to deal with the nihilists and Johnny can lose. Because Johnny's going to be the quickest one. Because it depends on how far they are away from the portal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Johnny's going to be the only one quick enough to get back there.
Yeah. But then the thing is, like, what a nihilist destroyed the portal on his way out, so that way they won't follow him.
He's more animalistic. I'm good with him keeping the portal open, right?
Well, he's like...
Like, why would he not want to go home, though? He doesn't know how to get back home.
He does a nihilist does think, and that's the distinguishing feature from him and the other monsters in the negative zone. I think this is like the question, right? Because we're making it a little bit different than he's a nihilist, a living death. I guess, what do you think? What is, I guess, an interesting angle for you in like why he wouldn't want to come? Why he wouldn't want to go home, or why he's going somewhere else?
Because the Maker lives in his home, so he wants to get away from him. I think. Well, because, I mean, if you think about it, like, the whole negative zone just, like, sucks. The whole place just sucks to be in.
Yeah, it's
so
awful, yeah.
why live in a place that where you're in constant danger and you could just go to Earth where, like, there's ice cream? So why not be there and why not stay there?
What's your preference?
I guess I'm fine with the destruction of the portal, because then I guess Reed and the Maker can work together to create another portal. But do they have the ability to do that there in the negative zone? Like, how do they get out?
Yeah, I mean, they can. I don't think that's... Yeah. I mean, you could even have... It's interesting if the Maker has a way out.
Where are they getting the tech from, though?
The
I
Maker.
guess would be my question.
The Maker. I mean, they have technology in the negative zone.
Oh, like he has a lab?
Yeah,
he
could.
He created a lab. Let's just say like the negative zone is just like full of floating rocks from like debris of all times past and present.
Okay.
And he's just been like spending his time collecting as many materials he can to make something.
Yeah, and there is a highly advanced technological civilization that went kaput in the negative zone. So like, it wouldn't be weird for him to find their stuff and their technology.
Okay, so then I think that works then. So we have it whereas Annihilus closes the portal, the Maker finds the beaten up Fantastic Four, they go back to Annihilus or the Maker's lab, new portal, boop boop, and then maybe Reed helps him with calculation or something. No, then again, Maker is smart as Reed, so that might not make sense. They go back, beat up Annihilus. Maker makes his plea to the family, like, you guys should be with me. Boom, we're in Act 3. They reject him, and now we have to fight the Maker. Because it turns out it was Reed the whole time. Mm-hmm. And we can see, like, the painful backstory of, like, all of the other Reed's mistakes that caused him to lose his entire family, and how that drove him to madness. And then we get Act 3 is about dealing with the Maker, deconstructing their universe and trying to stop him. Question. Does Doom come back? And actually, hold on, really quickly. I actually think I know what Sue could say to him to get Doom to help. You get to kill this Reed, Victor.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
To make him more formidable and like...
Oh, that's the handshake.
Huh?
He's like, I want to do a handshake. That's a deal. And it was like, I could kill you or whatever. Oh, I'll make you my prisoner. That's the deal or whatever. Something like that, And the loop
The
around is like,
handshake that he gets to kill the other Richard, they can't go back
no,
on
no,
that?
the handshake he made at first in the first act
Yeah.
about sending him
His
to the
deal.
negative zone. Yeah, the
Yeah.
The
deal
deal was
like,
he gets to kill him. He's like, well, you can kill a Reed. You said a Reed.
yeah, he said, so you don't have to kill our Reed, you could kill this Reed, and that's like a loophole
Okay.
to this handshake contract.
Your call, Brian.
The only thing is the logistics of it. Reed agreed. So you were saying it's no longer Victor asks for a favor. The deal was Victor asks to kill Reed in that meeting, or that this
Yeah, I think
opportunity, Victor's calling in a favor.
What I'm hearing is that like he has a condition, not necessarily a favor, a condition, right?
Mhm.
And like Reed may not know what that condition is, but he's like, well, I'll do anything right now. And then the condition was that he gets to like take his life, I guess. And like the adjustment is like, well, you said take Reed's life. This is a Reed. That's kind of what I was hearing from the pitch.
I do hear it. It's just I think it complicates why Reed got into the deal.
Okay. Well, I guess then my question is then because otherwise it doesn't come back like at all. So
Yeah.
it's just like kind of a thing that happened.
Oh, I was thinking that this is like a the handshake deal was a next movie sort of thing. I didn't think that was going to come back up. I wasn't planning to bring it back up. I guess like I need to understand more of the logistics of what the handshake looked like, and then like what's making him bring it up in this moment that they're able to do the switcheroo on them. Because in Act 3, they're going to Victor of like, help us with the Maker. Fine, then I'm calling in my favor. Like I get to kill the other Reed. Like I just like,
you don't want it.
They
You don't
probably
want
would
it
have
to
been
be.
okay.
You don't want it to
Like
be
why is he
Chekhov.
cashing in the deal?
You don't want it to
Yeah.
be Chekhov's handshake, right? Like I get what you're saying. I guess that's what we were pitching is that it's Chekhov's handshake. If you bring it up, you conclude it. But I mean, again, it's your deal. So whatever you want to do is what we'll do.
Could the favor? What if like I don't know, this is weird, but like what if he wants like ownership over what he discovered in the negative zone? So it's like okay, I'll take you to the negative zone, but I want everything you discover there or everything you create in there because Doom just wants it for whatever reason. And one of those things could just be the cosmic rod. It's just like, oh, I got and
Well,
Alice has the cosmic
it could
rod.
be the cosmic rod. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and like maybe like the Maker maybe that's part of like the Maker's grand plans to get cosmic rod.
I like the cosmic rod. Can I also pitch something like a little more petty and see if you guys like it for Doom?
Doom
So
is
like
always
they're
petty.
coming with him. Doom knows the world's about to end. They sweeten the deal like he gets to kill this Reed Richard. And like, what if he wants as his payment, Reed has to admit that Doom is smarter.
That's funny.
Oh.
That's funny. That's something he'd do.
Yeah.
That's very doomy.
But then I feel like Reed will like say, yeah, you're smarter than me. Let's go. He'll like lie about it.
No. You need to be sincere. I need to
How
feel
do you
it.
mean
I have a
it?
truth detector in this helmet.
Mean it, Richards.
Cite an example. When was I smarter than you?
I like that better than the cosmic rod, and I'll explain why. Because I feel like if we do the cosmic rod, then we have to explain now Doctor Doom has the cosmic rod, and we have to handle
Yeah.
that because that's a whole big problem.
Okay, so question about the Maker at this point, why they're bringing Doom in. Does the Maker have any magic abilities? Like, did he learn the arts and like makes him more challenging now? Like, what is the limits of his power? Does he just build machines, or did he get cosmic powers as well?
I don't think he got. I mean, he could gain possession of cosmic powers, but I think he just was really smart and he built machines.
That would justify Doom being there.
Yeah, because I feel like the only way like someone could like save a whole universe is with like cosmic intervention. So it's like he could build something that gives him access to cosmic powers.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Or we can just explain away like that's what he did, so that we're not having him build it then, and he's already destroyed several universes.
I guess my pitch would be keep it machines because wouldn't it be cool to see like an elastic fight? Like I just think that's tight. I think that's just a really cool fight. It's like the two Reeds like duking it out from around corners and shit like that.
I agree with that, and I think that would be part of it. And then I would think like maybe the more magical elements Doom is dealing with.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And then like maybe like just so we have everyone else active. They could all be fighting the Maker, or maybe there's like monster scenario from the negative zone. Maybe
Last Star. They could just be. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say maybe Reed has like negative zone and multiverse powers. Maybe he like shows how much better he is than Reed by like opening up several porters. A bunch of villains and monsters from the negative zone come in, and now the Fantastic Four are busy.
Sounds to me. As long as we can get Blastar or Blast, I forget how you say it.
I think we could easily do that cameo. We can even get your lizard guy.
It's a lizard
Okay,
guy.
and then that they defeat the Maker through this team up. I think that gets us out of the story, fellas. So then we also, of course, have a reconciliation. Reed realizes he shouldn't have been pushing or trying to control everything quite as strongly as the Maker was trying to control things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he
I do
has
have-
to let Franklin be himself.
My only question would be what is the conclusion that we would have on that? Because to your point earlier, the making a black hole is not good.
Yes.
Does he make
So-
a pocket universe? I mean, he can make a pocket universe. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is
Yeah.
safer. It's like it's a play pit. Well, no, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Maybe that's a
he
little
gets
too
hold
glib.
of
But
like maybe he gets a hold between the negative zone and the Maker's tech. He was able to actually make a pocket dimension that's more safe.
he has like a discovery. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe that's how he
And-
gets rid of the Maker. He's like, you can't unmake this, and like that. Then he makes one for Franklin. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe the way Reed shows that he's learned is, so what you do is you turn the switch on, portal opens, and you go in there. It's up to you when you go and train, but this is something you do need to do.
Yeah.
Like, he's not forcing him, like, you need to do this now. You need to understand all your powers now. It is when you're ready, son, you need to go in there and practice.
Yeah. And I could also see it being kind of like playtime or fun time with him. You know, it's just like Franklin does his powers, Reed does his powers. You know, it's like we could end it with like a fun father-son playtime. You know.
Yeah, that's adorable. Like a catch.
You know what's fun about that too is like if they use that to imprison the Maker, like his ultimate punishment is he just has to be alone for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Well, I like
All
it.
right.
I think it's fun. I mean, second steps.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four second steps or next
That'll be the
step or
thumbnail.
next steps.
Next step.
Fellas, thank you so much. Yusuf,
you,
I know you
Yusuf.
got to go, so thank you so much. You were fantastic today, and
Thank you.
you're always a pleasure to have on the show. We'll see you next month, and we'll eventually get to Amazing Digital Circus and Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah. Also, I read all 19
should-
volumes of that manga. So.
And we'll have that's when you get to be showrunner, Yusuf. Like,
Oh, you guys are gonna hate me. I'm gonna make so many fanboys mad.
Maybe he'd be a better fit for Amazing Digital Circus, Phil.
Hey man, we'll
get to
figure
that.
it out when we get there. Great job, Brian. Awesome show running, and thank you all for joining us. Brian,
You too, Phil.
would you like to say the outro?
Yes, but thank you, Yusuf and Phil. You were both fantastic today. We created something really awesome with this Fantastic Four story, and I'm very excited by it. And on that, everyone, pencils down. See you next time.
Bye.
Remember to put your notes and pitches in the comments, and we'll read our favorites on next week's show.
And hey, while you're at it, why don't you hit that subscribe button? Let's build this community together. Oh, also, the bell icon's there, so why don't you ring my bell so that you never miss any updates?
And the like button too, Phil. That's important.
Oh, right, yes. Thank you, Brian.